Welcome back to another Relentless recap. As you're tuning in, hit that thumbs up button. If you are a new viewer, consider subscribing as you watch throughout the video. Guys, remember, tomorrow the markets are closed. Tomorrow it's Good Friday here in the States. Bond markets will be open, but they will have that early close time, all right? So keep that in mind, pay attention, don't get caught slipping in these merciless markets, all right? So let's talk about today's red day recap. And it's another one of those days where I'm on the other side of the fine line. Ladies and gentlemen, I love day trading. I'm excited for waking up every day to be able to trade. But at times trading is frustrating. At times I just want to take the market and I go like this. Trading, we love it so much, but at the same time, it drives us insane. You know, but we always have to remember that, in order to be successful here, in all seriousness, we have to keep our sanity. We have to always stay in that Goldilocks zone. We don't get too high, we don't get too low. And it's why when you guys see me having these big green days, like we did a few days ago, it's just a normal day. We've had to program ourselves to just let everything and to perceive everything as normal. All right. So don't let it get to you guys, right? For those of us who are red or had a hard time today or this week, let's take the lessons. It's never personal. And let's move forward. All right. With that being said, let's jump into the recap. GFAI. This one was a pretty decent moving stock. It was in play a few days ago. If we start off here by looking at the daily chart, we'll see that we had a nice big move. And this is what really kicked off the round of momentum this week. Right, incredible surge over here, going from about $8 all the way up to 21, and here we are on the fourth day, getting a beautiful, daily candle to make the new high. The daily setup was there, and it was decent. 200 EMA was sitting at 1566. If we come over here to the top right to our 1 minute candlesticks, we'll see that we got halted up here, around 1050 or so. It resumes higher. And it really and truly does a pretty good move, right? From 1065, we push all the way to 1176. So when we talk about our patterns, our edges, we started to see them pretty earlier on this stock. Now, the question usually comes down to, did you have it on watch? If you weren't paying attention to it, you probably missed the earlier trades, and that's exactly what happened to me. Now, we dip down, we get a beautiful VWAL bounce right here out of the resumption initially. And it comes down again. We do overshoot the landing zone, but then we get the nice curl back up. Pretty good. And from there, we start to get this bit of a wedge, higher lows above VWAP. And right here, we have a bit of a flat top. Once it breaks the level over here, we have the apex point, right? We have the apex point here. Once it breaks, it does take off and it gives a nice move. So pretty good. All right, pretty good, all things considered. It gives beautiful pullbacks along the way, guys. And this is where, for me, we mentioned it's not personal. It was a little, upsetting to put out, limit orders, whether with an offset through my DAS platform or just a pure limit order here through Thinkorswim trying to buy the bids. Could not get fills to save my life. Could not get fills at all. And unfortunately, I missed the entirety of the move here. It is what it is, it happens, and then what are you going to do? You just have to stay focused and continue to push forward. It came up here to the 200 EMA to the penny. Let's not ignore that. The 200 EMA usually acts as resistance, and in this case it did. I thought right here we were seeing a lack of buyers and that it needed a pullback, and I thought it might have even been on the backside of the move. So, in this range, if we look at it, we had a high of 25 and a low of 1272. It's decent enough for a short. If we look at it here, it's a 11% move down, which is not bad. But when I was watching at it, I would have stopped out because I had a very tight stop about 1405. It did make a new high of 1425 before then pulling back. But yeah, it wasn't finished. It rallied off of VWAP, and then it gives this beautiful 5-minute pullback down here and then curls up. Okay, moving on to the stock of the day, which is FOA. FOA, let's talk about it. A little disappointing, but it happens. This stock is called out to me in pre-market. Hey, RT, this one looks decent. I look at it and I'm like, man, the volume here is just so light. I don't know if this will be the stock of the day. We had pre-market highs up here at 191. You know, we had lows around 172, and I'm like, you know, I don't know. It doesn't seem so strong, and I needed to be watching at this early. I'm gonna miss the first two candlesticks, and so ultimately I showed up, you know, on a big red candle here. If I can get this ticking, right? This is where I showed up to, you know, try and trade on this red candle, and you know, the continuation here was good, but from looking at these two green candles, I assumed it was a sharp, strong, aggressive move, and it might have been, but I don't know. I missed that. So when I came here and I scalped, you know, under the context of this stock is moving fast, it did not work. I needed to be in with a longer hold time, and I was in pretty early. I was in early down here, but this is one of those areas where I needed to hold for about a minute and a half to see a good trade. Instead, I was in and out within, you know, seconds, let's say between 3 to 10, 15 seconds. And as a result, I saw nothing throughout this area here. So a little disappointing. By the time I realized what was happening and I was willing to hold longer, I'm going to buy this pullback down here. I'm holding it. I'm up unrealized, and it goes from about 207 to a high of 215. I'm up about 6-7 cents. I do not take my profits off the table, assuming it's going to continue going up, and it does not. So I stop out break even, and here's where things got a little dicey. So let's pull up the archive. I'll show you guys this trade here. I'm going to look for a entry on a 5-minute pullback. After the 1-minute pullback and setup fails, Relentless Trader then moves on to the 5-minute setup. And so here I am. Again, we had scratch trades there around 207, so we're slightly red, but I look at myself at this point as still being scratch on the day, right? We just had a few trades where we didn't quite connect, and now we've gathered the intelligence we needed to then be able to approach the stock effectively and properly. We'll talk about this trade here and what I could have done better. So it's coming down to VWAL, which is currently at like 98, and I'm watching here, I'm like, you know what? I want to be long below this level here of 2. I put out a limit order, no fills, which, you know, was happening to me a lot throughout the day. But I'm going to eventually mark it in right here because I'm going to tell myself, man, you can't afford to miss this thing if this is the bottom. And of course, the moment I buy, we do get a new low at 95. But right here was the moment of truth. And I told myself, hey, this stock cannot go any lower because this is as low as it should be going considering where we came from. Now, pre-market highs were at 91, and the very first pullback we had over here came down to a low with this bottoming wick at 91. So I didn't think it would have been super unreasonable for it to probably drop down 94, 93, and then quickly surge back up. But it's pretty risky knowing that, hey, 220 was the highs and we're down here at 195. It's a pretty steep pullback. The 5-minute candles at this time were looking great. And right here, you guys can see I'm green 3 cents unrealized, up 30 bucks. I'm essentially flat on the day. And that's why I'm saying I'm down 140. It's like me being flat, because if I add to my trade and we just go up 2-3 cents, I'm already green on the day, right? So I'm not really watching that small loss as anything. But right here's moment of truth. I'm going to say, hey, you know what? If this stock is truly strong, it should start to curl. And I'm going to add right here. There's the add. Right there's the add. I'm going to put out a limit order. And I told myself, Relentless, your stop is going to be at 95, which was the low we just made. But I'm going to give the stock too much of a chance because, again, 91 was a bit of an area. But hey, RT, if you're going to game plan for 91, you cannot be in at 99. You need to be in at 94, 95, the highest. And right here is where I'm going to need to cut the trade, the entire thing. And I'm not going to do so. Here's 95 right there. I should have cut the trade for a $170 loss. I sold half and then I got out the rest right there. I should have been down 170. Instead I'm down 380. Relentless. Why did it do it? Why did I hold this stock past my stop loss? Not good. the entry at 91 could make sense, or let's say the support rather can make sense if I'm going to risk to that level. If I decided, hey, 91 is where the support should be and not VWAP. VWAP is at $2. If the support is at 91, I should be in at 93, 94, 95. I should have just been buying right there with a tight stop at 91. Instead, I let it go past my stop, and I give myself a much bigger loss than I needed to. So let's come on back over here, and let's take a look at that one more time as it's coming down. Guys, you got to be brutal with the stop. My unrealized P&L is around 220 right there. Should have been out. Should have been out. There's no reason I should still be holding full size. Come on. We could have came out with a $200 loss. Disappointing. Disappointing. So that's how we ended up red on the day. You know, mistake on my end. I thought the setup was pretty decent. But unfortunately, we did not see any sort of real follow through. So here's how we're looking on the month so far. You know, it's a decent month. We had a very solid day in Wednesday. Well, rather Tuesday. But the rest of the month has been very subpar. I mean, you know, 227, okay, we'll take. Wednesday, again, you know, the fine line of trading. And this is one of the things that I'll say that, you know, bothers me about trading is that sometimes the opportunities are so few. And if you don't capitalize, you have to wait up until the next day again for the next best set of opportunities, right? Unless on that day, there's a strong power hour, lunch hour, or something like that. But as we know, the market is so cyclical. There's no way of telling if for the remaining of the day, there's going to be more opportunities. And you know, this is part of owning a business. If we wanted consistency, we'd go work a normal job. Right? I mean, that's the thing with the market. It is annoying at times, but it's part of the deal, right? It's part of the deal. So, you know, the only thing we can do is be consistent. If that means being here from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., that way we don't miss any opportunities at all, then that's what we need to do. If we don't want to do that, then we just trade an hour or two every day, right? Which is what I do. I trade an hour or two, and I'll come back at times if there's something, then okay. But yeah, you know, yesterday we had that unfortunate fill. What should have at least been at worst a $400 or $500 green day. At best, you know, maybe a $1,200, $1,400 day. We ended up $20. Today, you know, we missed a lot of our key dip trades on the other stock, lack of fills, partial fills, and on FOA, we missed a lot of the front side move earlier. And of course, the 5-minute pullback is going to break down despite having great volume profile. So, you know, it's a little unfortunate, but I always tell myself one thing, and that's if I follow my rules, it's always a good day. And so today is a good day. It is a good day. It's just a little disappointing to not end green. All right. So far in the month, thanks to this big green day, things are still looking good. But, you know, next week, we're going to have to step it up. And so what that means, hey, study up over this weekend, study up, and get ready to run and hit the ground running on Monday morning. All right. So with that being said, it's been Relentless Trader. And if you did enjoy this recap, hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, check out those links down below for my day trading course, the scanning platform that I use, and of course for the chat room, all right, which is completely free. Chat room is completely free. It's been Relentless Trader, and I am, of course, signing out.